Welcome to the Dragons TV Halftime Show. I'm Chase Yu, joined by the one, the only Double G. We have our second of two games here for the Pack the Dak weekend. Dragons against Monmouth University, and Grace O'Neal looking like Shaquille O'Neal at the end of the half with that board of utter dominance for a putback for another two.
Huge board, and I love those pink jerseys. Don't you love those pink jerseys?
They look good. I think if anybody's got a hookup for those pink jerseys, give us a call because I think they would look great here on set behind this table.
24-19, Drexel on top by 5, but for a closer look, let's take a look under a microscope at these halftime stats brought to you by Drexel Physical Therapy.
Bring up those stats.
Drexel University Physical Therapy is the solution to your nagging aches and pains and is located conveniently on Drexel's campus. Contact Drexel PT at 215-571-4287 or ptappt@drexel.edu for an appointment. Those turnovers really stand out to me. I think that the field goals, you know, both teams are getting shots up, not shot up, thank God.
A lot of shots in this game from both teams, but the field goals 10 to 30. Obviously, we could be shooting a little bit better. Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I do want to point out, to those turnovers, Amaris Baker really living up to the last name, getting the hands active in the paint, in the mix, if you will, having a steal for herself, but causing a lot of turnovers for this game, which has kind of been a key to winning this first half.
Right, and if you look at another major thing is you want to get to the line. If you're Drexel, slow this game down. If you're Monmouth, take easy points. So I think both teams are going to want to depend on the refs a little bit here. But now, my favorite segment, I don't know about you, I'm going to run over. I'm going to get out of here.
Highlights that are going on, and I think some of the highlights we may see is the one, the only Amaris Baker scoring half the points for Drexel in this half. But what do we got?
We're going to start with some active hands. We're talking about active hands. Boom. Steal. Run in transition. That's what we want. Here's Baker. This is why it's moves like that, you know, snatch back hezzy three that make her a front runner for our player of the half.
It's really no question. When you're able to look at what she's been doing on the court, spreading her wings as a Dragon, getting those turnovers, causing those turnovers, and then able to just knock it down. I know that Monmouth is the school by the sea, but splash here on Market Street for Drexel.
I mean, and a lot of it is, you know, confidence. I think that Monmouth, they've been shooting good, but I think Amaris Baker just has that chip, you know, that like, I'm here and I'm going to score. This bucket's going in every time down the floor.
Quite the impressive thing is that we saw it getting a little bit tight there towards the end of the first half. However, Amaris Baker really took the ball and said, give me the ball, get out of my way, and we are going to slow this down. I'm going to show you who I am and why the DAC is what she calls her house. A really impressive way to wrap up that half as the player of the half. But as we go into the second half, I think there are some adjustments that maybe we can start to see that could let the Dragons fly away with a little bit of an easier victory here.
I love me my adjustments. Adjustments presented by Rothman Orthopedics, the official team physicians of your Dragons, providing the region with unmatched orthopedic care. Okay, if you're Drexel, you got the lead. It's not a big lead.
Nope.
It's not the lead against Hampton.
No, 18 to nothing in the first quarter.
Yeah, by the way.
But we adjust for this Pack the Dak game here on the weekend. As we're kind of getting into the week, I think one of the biggest adjustments for Drexel is to slow down, find open shots. We saw it. They're shooting 10 for 30 from the field. Usually when you're shooting that low of a percentage, a lot of wild shots. We're getting good looks. However, I think we're tossing up a couple that maybe we could have passed out, or maybe we could have a little pump fake, found an easier shot, but easier said than done sitting here on the table and not on the court. But for Monmouth, what are we thinking?
You got to hold on to the ball. You got to hold on to the ball. You have 4 more turnovers than Drexel does, and you're giving them easy transition looks. Then that's kind of the reason that Drexel's up in this game at all. It's very close. Once they get into their halftime sets, it's like, it's a good matchup, but you can't give the ball over to Amaris Baker if you want to win this game.
Again, really living up to that last name. So, personally, selfishly, I would love to continue to see a couple turnovers. But that's all we have here, folks, for the Dragon TV Halftime Show. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to our sponsors of Drexel PT and Rothman Orthopedics, making sure that we are good and feeling good for the second half of this game.